Good morning, America. Breaking overnight, mass shooting. Bullets flying in Toledo, Ohio at a popular summer festival. At least a dozen people wounded. The urgent search for the suspects.
Ceasefire under strain. U.S. military saying it shot down more Iranian attack drones in the Strait of Hormuz after firing on radar systems this weekend. Iran now launching missiles at our allies. How the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah could affect the peace talks.
Security scare. A man charged with sneaking onto a United Airlines flight, bypassing multiple layers of security, how police say he did it, and how he was caught.
Zoo fight. One of the nation's most popular zoos looking to block a proposed AI data center from going up next door. The fears for the animals. Singer Brad Paisley joining the fight.
I can't think of a worse place, honestly, that you could stick something like a data center.
What the company behind the project is saying this morning.
A new GLP-1 drug from Pfizer. How it could be a game changer in the weight loss battle. The results of a preliminary study. Dr. Darian Sutton breaks it down.
And the Stanley Cup Finals epic game. A history-making hat trick and the double overtime win. The lucky bounce that ended it all. Plus, looking ahead to Game 3 of the NBA Finals, the Spurs versus the Knicks in New York, and the fans are ready. Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Sunday. Good morning, America.
Rachel, I didn't know you were such a hockey fan.
Oh my gosh. So many good sports games going on, and the energy in this city is electric.
It really is. Good morning, America. It is great to see you. It is great to have Rachel Scott here with us. And oh, what a night to remember for the Vegas Golden Knights, now up 2-1 in the Stanley Cup Final. Highlights ahead from that thrilling game. We also have news this morning from Madrid. Pope Leo is there in Spain celebrating Mass for hundreds of thousands of people. We have our report there from the Spanish capital coming up.
We do, yes. And new developments this morning in the ongoing battle to free thousands of beagles from a breeding and research facility. We have in-depth reporting on the legal fight and where some of those dogs are now heading.
But we do want to begin with breaking news overnight in the panic at a busy festival in Ohio. At least a dozen people were shot and wounded in this morning. Police are still searching for the suspects. ABC's Andrew Dibbert is here with the details. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Rachel. Gunfire sending hundreds of people running for cover at a summer festival in Ohio. Around a dozen people wounded as investigators are now asking festival goers to search their cell phones for video that could help identify the shooters.
This morning, the urgent manhunt after a mass shooting near a crowded summer festival in Ohio.
It sounds as if there's going to be multiple people shot.
Toledo police say what appeared to be a gunfight between at least two shooters left around a dozen injured in the crossfire Saturday evening.
We've got 2 patients. Anyone have any more?
Hundreds running for safety at the 53rd annual Old West End Festival in the city's historic district.
It happened very quickly, but it also stopped pretty quickly, as there was a lot of officers that were right there.
Police officers seen applying medical aid to the injured awaiting EMS.
There was quite a few people that needed help, and it's a crazy sight to see.
The victims ranging in age from just 14 years old to 61, mostly in their early 20s, at least 2 suffering critical injuries.
I've been to a lot of scenes, but this is way over the top.
Investigators now pleading with the hundreds of attendees to comb through their cell phones for any footage or photos that could identify the suspects.
What happened today is not a reflection of what our city is and what we stand for.
Overnight festival organizers canceling the rest of the event, saying we feel it would not be compassionate, responsible, or possible to continue the festival. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine saying that summer festivals should be safe spaces for families, not scenes of violence.
Yeah, it's just terrifying. That video is hard to watch. Okay, Andrew, thank you. Now to the conflict between the U.S. and Iran. The shaky ceasefire tested once again as the countries trade fire. ABC's foreign correspondent Tom Sufi Burge is in Jerusalem with the very latest. Good morning, Tom.
Yeah, good morning, Rachel. Still no sign of a deal to end the war with Iran, which is now into its 100th day, and the ceasefire is under real strain. Just a short while ago, the US military saying it shot down 2 more Iranian one-way attack drones which were threatening ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Earlier, the US military releasing new video of missile strikes on Iranian coastal radar systems this weekend, a response to previous Iranian drone attacks. Iran retaliating Saturday, firing 7 ballistic missiles at Kuwait and Bahrain, where there are US military bases. CENTCOM saying those missiles were either intercepted or fell short and no US personnel were injured. Now, the US-Iran talks also hinging on the conflict in Lebanon between Israel and the Iranian-backed militant group Hezbollah. Iran demanding a ceasefire there, but Israel and Hezbollah continue to trade attacks. The death toll from Israeli strikes in Lebanon rising to more than 3,500 people, according to Lebanese officials. Now, President Trump had suggested an interim deal could be reached this weekend to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and get gas prices down. But we are still waiting for Iran to respond to the latest U.S. proposal, Gio.
100 days in. Tom Sufi-Burridge, thank you for your reporting there. Let's go ahead and bring in Martha Raddatz, who's going to be hosting This Week later here on ABC. Martha, it is good to see you, but it really feels like we've been talking about potential peace negotiations between Iran and the U.S. for weeks now. So what are you hearing about the status of those?
You're exactly right. We've been hearing about it again and again, that there might be some sort of deal. Week after week, we seem to hear the same thing, Gio, and nothing happens. And again, now we're trading fire again with the Iranians. The U.S. is insisting the ceasefire is still holding, but it's hard to see that that is actually the case when we've had these cases of fire back and forth into Kuwait from Iran, us firing on Iran. This is a very, very shaky ceasefire. And as you said, and we keep saying, 100 days into this war and about 78 days since President demanded that the strait be open within 48 hours, Gio.
Okay, so we will keep watching that. Meanwhile, we're going to switch gears here to the midterms because so many are talking about that. And later here on This Week, you're actually going to be discussing that turmoil in Maine as the Democratic Senate candidate fights claims about his history with women. How important is this for Democrats?
This is a huge race for Democrats. I can't really see how they could possibly flip the Senate unless they win Maine. And there are all these controversies around this outsider, Graham Plattner, an oyster farmer, a veteran who admittedly has PTSD. But these controversies are growing. It puts a lot of pressure not only on him, but Democrats as to how they respond to this, Gio.
All right, a lot to discuss on This Week. Martha Raddatz, thank you so much. And tune into This Week later. Martha speaks with top intelligence Democrat Mark Warner about his concerns over new acting director of national intelligence, Bill Pulte.
Gio, now to Pope Leo in Spain this morning, celebrating Mass with hundreds of thousands of followers in Madrid. ABC's Marcus Moore traveling with the Pope. Marcus, good morning.
Well, hi, Whit. Good morning. This is a big moment, not only for Spain, but also for the Vatican. This is the first Pope to visit Spain in 15 years. And we saw the Pope greeting the faithful this morning from the Pope Mobile. And just to give you a sense of the crowds that we've seen so far on this trip, police say 1.2 million people attended this open-air Mass that just wrapped up here in Madrid. 500,000 were at a vigil last night where Pope Leo told young people that they can change the world with love. And I met a number of those young people in the crowd who shared their enthusiasm for the Pope's visit. And in part, it's those young people that the Vatican is hoping to reach on this trip, that it will include meetings with the migrant families as well as government officials. And after Madrid, Pope Leo is expected to travel to Barcelona and then the Canary Islands. So, Rachel, still a very busy journey ahead for the first American Pope.
Busy indeed. Okay, Marcus, thank you. Now to the new security concerns about air travel after an alleged stowaway attempt on a United Airlines flight in Houston. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has more. Good morning, Jacqueline.
Rachel, good morning. It's an alarming incident causing many to wonder how that kind of security breach can happen in the first place. This as millions kick off the summer travel season.
This morning, new details after a significant security scare at Houston's Bush Intercontinental Airport. Authorities saying a stowaway successfully evading multiple layers of security and sneaking onto a flight bound for Los Angeles. 25-year-old Abdul Rahman Oriami is facing a felony charge after allegedly boarding United Flight 469 and hiding in a bathroom. According to the criminal complaint, Oriami got past TSA the morning of May 18th, despite a canceled flight reservation, by allegedly using a boarding pass that authorities allege was forged.
The electronics now that are used by TSA are so sophisticated. So that's one of the big questions here. It's not who failed, it's how the system failed.
Houston police say Oriami approached a gate trying to scan a fake boarding pass twice and was turned away. But an hour later, he walks past busy United gate agents and boards the flight.
Knowing exactly how that distraction can occur so we can make it not occur again is going to be one of the key elements of investigation of this particular incident.
Charging documents allege another passenger notified a flight attendant of a man in the restroom as the plane was taxiing to the runway. The plane then returning to the gate where the FBI, Houston police, and the Explosive Detection Canine Unit were waiting. It's just one of multiple recent incidents involving a successful stowaway. In February, Svetlana Dali was able to get past security at Newark Liberty International, sneaking onto a United flight and flying all the way to Milan, Italy, where she was later detained by authorities. Dali had also made it through Newark Airport in November 2024, blending in with a crowd and boarding a Delta flight to Paris without a ticket, passport, or travel visa.
As for the Houston flight, authorities say it was full and delayed by 3 hours as a result of this incident. The suspect appears in court on Monday. Gio.
Remarkable that he made it all the way. All right, Jacqueline, thank you so much. Now to the battle brewing in Nashville as one of the nation's most popular zoos tries to block an AI data center from moving in next door. ABC's Morgan Norwood has this story. Morgan, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Gio. That's right. It's a fight pitting the future of artificial intelligence against some of the world's most endangered animals. And this morning, the Nashville Zoo is pushing back against plans for a massive data center it fears could impact critical conservation and breeding programs. This morning, as the AI data center boom expands across the country, the Nashville Zoo, one of the nation's most popular, is pushing back against a proposed facility that would be built just steps away.
The community does not want this here.
The company, DC Blocks, wants to build their 23rd data center, larger than the size of a football field. The project raising concerns about noise, power demand, water use, and the impact on some 3,000 animals.
We have a huge concern that it's going to affect our breeding facilities for so many endangered species.
In a statement, DC Blocks saying they will work to minimize local impacts and assure that there will be no health risks to residents or animals, and that the proposed data center will not be an AI factory. The zoo starting an online petition that has already garnered more than 230,000 signatures and getting the support from country star Brad Paisley, a staunch advocate of the zoo's conservation work, telling GMA the zoo must be preserved.
I can't think of a worse place, honestly, that you could stick something like a data center in our town, because we are so lucky to have something that's this world class here.
The fight in Nashville, part of a growing pushback from communities coast to coast, while the push to build more data centers is just ramping up, with supporters touting job creation. Last summer, President Trump signed an executive order aimed at speeding up approvals for large data center projects.
And Tennessee's new data center law just took effect, requiring developers to cover their own power costs. Well, now Nashville leaders are considering new restrictions on where these facilities can be built, including near homes, schools, parks, and of course zoos.
All right, Morgan Norwood for us. We appreciate it. Now to the labor dispute threatening next Friday's first World Cup match in the U.S. Stadium concession workers in Los Angeles have authorized a strike. ABC's Melissa Don has the latest. Melissa, good morning.
Hey, Whit, good morning. So the World Cup is days away, and the first game here in LA may actually be in trouble. This is because concession workers at SoFi Stadium are set to go on strike. Now, the union tells us its members, which includes cashiers, cooks, bartenders, servers at SoFi, voted overwhelmingly to authorize a strike against the stadium's food service operator, Legends Global. Well, about 2,000 workers are asking for a pay bump, protections against AI and tech automating their jobs, and they also want a right to strike if immigration enforcement officials show up to the stadium. Well, ICE told LA officials that there will be no immigration enforcement at the games, only federal agents on duty. Well, negotiations are underway between the union and Legends Global. Now, we have reached out to the hospitality company for comment and are awaiting word. But if they do not come to a deal soon, concession workers could walk off the job at any point. And guys, the clock is ticking as this this Friday is USA versus Paraguay's match. Now, this is the first of many games to be held at SoFi, and tickets are selling fast and for well over $1,000. Rachel?
Yeah, they are. I was checking that this morning, and I was I've got to watch this
You're
one
lucky
at
if you
home.
can get one for $1,000 even.
I know. Okay, Melissa, thank you. We're going to switch gears now and turn to a study showing promising new signs for weight loss. It's a weight loss drug that only needs to be taken once a month. And ABC News' medical correspondent, Dr. Darian Sutton, joins us now to break it all down. Okay, so tell us about this. What exactly is Pfizer studying here? You could take this drug less, but is it still as effective?
Oh, that seems to be the case here. These are the next steps in obesity medicine, not just looking for stronger weight loss, but fewer injections. And Pfizer this weekend with preliminary results on their once-a-month injection called birabenatide. Now, this is data by press release, but late-phase studies show an average weight loss of about 12% over 6 months. Again, this is a monthly injection. And in terms of how this was tolerated, patients reported fewer GI side effects. Now, of course, these are the common side effects, nausea, vomiting, associated with this class. But overall, in terms of competitors, the pipeline in terms of research is quite large. Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, also with next-generation medications. Gio, we talked about this during the break. These medications are targeting additional pathways, and that's why we call them the next generation. Presumably, they can have even more weight loss. So, of course, we have to wait to see those results.
So let's dig into the science a little bit. What happens within the body, the difference between a monthly and weekly injection?
Great question. And many patients also ask this question as more and more people are using it. So these medications target a hormone pathway. The most popular pathway is the GLP pathway. That's associated with reduced hunger, increased fullness after a meal, slowing the emptying of the stomach, and improved blood sugar control. Now, this drug, birabenatide, works in a similar way that semaglutide does. That's the active ingredient in Ozempic. The difference is that it's formulated in a way where it can last longer in the body, and that is how you get those sustained effects. Now, in terms of the weight loss, we saw 12%. That's on the lower end in terms of what we typically see, 15 to 22% with these types of medications. But you can imagine the convenience that comes with a once-a-month injection, especially for those patients who might be concerned or fearful of injecting in any way, shape, or form.
Well, you just talked about a semaglutide, and then you have tirzepatide.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many different drugs. We see them all the time. How do you know which one to choose?
That's the hardest question here, especially with more and more medications coming out. Many patients are looking for the biggest outcome, right? They're always looking for what is the most weight loss, if that's your goal. What's important to understand here is that you have to pick the medication that you can tolerate, that you can access, and that you can afford, of course, and the medication that you can maintain. Because aside from learning about these medications, we're learning that obesity is a chronic relapsing condition that unfortunately can relapse if you stop taking these medications. So overall, what can you tolerate? What can you access? And talk to your provider about additional benefits, heart disease, kidney disease. These are also outcomes that you'd like to control in terms of your future and your outcomes in terms of health. And so you want to talk to your provider about those benefits.
And it really is interesting how many benefits we're seeing aside from the weight loss.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Darian Sutton, thank you so much.
All right, to the Stanley Cup Final now. The Golden Knights taking a 2-1 series lead over the Hurricanes in a history-making game. ABC's Ike Ajachi is here with the highlights. Another late night for you, but it was a good one.
Oh, this was a night. Listen, Insomniacs, if you stayed up for this one, you probably don't need coffee right now because you're likely still fired up from Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final from what was, without question, one of the wildest nights in recent hockey history. And we have to start with Mitch Marner. The Vegas Golden Knights forward put on a show in the second period, scoring a natural hat trick in just 6 minutes and 10 seconds. That's the fastest hat trick in Stanley Cup Final history. Vegas goes up 4-0 and T-Mobile Arena is going absolutely bananas. But then, the Carolina Hurricanes did something almost impossible. Down 4 goals with 1 period to go, the Canes came storming back. Jordan Martinook, Taylor Hall, and Jordan Stahl back to back to back in just 39 seconds. The fastest 3 goals in Stanley Cup Final history. That's 2 all-time records in the same game. And then with 1 minute and 42 seconds left in regulation, Andrei Svechnikov scores a power play goal to tie it at 4. Carolina becomes just the second team in NHL history and the first in 50 years to come back from 4 goals down in the Cup Final. Then we go to overtime. Then we go to double overtime. And finally, 5:38 into the 5th period of hockey, Shea Theodore fires a shot from the blue line. It bounces off the end boards, hits goalie Brandon Bussey's skate, and trickles across the goal line. Vegas wins 5-4 in double overtime. Golden Knights now lead the series 2-1. games to 1.
Okay.
Oh my
gosh. The
gosh.
number of times you said history making there was a very big game.
It was ridiculous.
We're talking about hockey there, but also basketball coming up. People very excited about the Knicks hosting the Spurs. And people looking at tickets as well. They're pretty pricey for this game if you can try to make it.
Rachel, you mentioned that earlier today, with
She's buying, by the way.
She is buying, by the way.
Yeah, you wish.
Yeah.
Guys, I actually took a look at StubHub this morning, and the least expensive ticket to tomorrow's game, $9,723 per ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
maybe nobody's buying. Yeah.
The Athletic reports demand for Game 3 is mirroring the Super Bowl, guys. Yeah, after the Knicks won Game 1, ticket demand went up 5 times its normal rate, and after Game 2, 10 times. So just to put it into perspective, the average monthly rent in Manhattan is about $5,100. So, yeah, we have a big couple nights ahead of sports. You're going to have to pay your rent if you actually want a ticket in this one. Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final is Tuesday night in Vegas, right here on ABC. And tomorrow night, Knicks and Spurs. Game 3 of the NBA Finals, of course, right here on ABC, and you're not going to want to miss either one of these games.
My hot take is that you don't need to be there because the city has so much energy.
Yes!
I mean,
there you go.
Come on. Maybe that's just to make myself feel better.
Just don't climb the light poles.
Yeah, don't do that.
Exactly.
We know you usually do that, Rachel, but this time.
It will not be me, I can assure you.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks, Ike. We appreciate you. All right. So coming up here, still ahead, dramatic new video from a police chase. Stay with us.
People speak of Robin Hood, tell his stories. They're all lies.
Ooh, welcome back to GMA. That's a look at Hugh Jackman starring in the new film, The Death of Robin Hood. He joins us in studio Tuesday on GMA to talk all about his latest role as an outlaw grappling with his past. The Death of Robin Hood hits theaters Friday, June 19th. That looks cool.
Yeah,
that looks
really good.
And Hugh Jackman, always a win. All right, let's take a look at some of the other stories they're following here on this Sunday morning. At least 5 people injured when a powerful storm flipped over a tent near a ballpark there in West Virginia. Crowds scrambled for safety as winds picked up at the Morgantown Super Regional Baseball game on Saturday. The 5 injured fans were rushed to the hospital as the game was delayed.
A 4-month-old baby survives after being thrown from an SUV allegedly driven by its father during a wild police chase in Arkansas. State police say they spotted the SUV speeding before losing control and then overturning. The baby and the 3 other children inside were treated for minor injuries. The driver is now facing multiple charges.
Gymnast Simone Biles reveals she experienced a health scare. Biles posting on social media showing her arm covered in medical wristbands. She wrote in part, "Almost dying wasn't on my bingo card." Biles stopped short of giving any details, saying she will explain sooner or later. All right, we do start this half hour with the latest developments in the decade-long fight to free thousands of beagles from a breeding and research facility. Just this week, more than 100 dogs on their way to finding happy homes, adding to the 1,500 already released from a site, has been a flashpoint for animal activists.
135 beagles getting a fresh start this week. Receiving medical assessments and care before moving to the rescues responsible for freeing them. It's the latest development in the saga surrounding Ridgeland Farms in Wisconsin, one of the largest beagle breeding and research facilities in the country, and part of a broader deal that freed some 1,500 beagles last month. Ridgeland has become a flashpoint in the battle over animal testing. Activists entering the facility and removing dogs on multiple occasions.
Let's go, guys, let's go!
Undercover video, raids, and protests leading to clashes with police.
It's been a 20-year campaign to try and bring light to the abuses at Ridgeland Farms.
Attorney Wang Sheng and 2 other activists broke into Ridgeland Farms for the first time nearly 10 years ago. They left with 3 beagles and footage revealing what it looks like inside. Hundreds of dogs in small stacked wire cages, some with sores on their paws from standing on the metal grates. That footage used in court, alongside whistleblower accounts and other evidence, led to an investigation into Ridgeland.
What exactly did they find there?
One was surgical mutilation of animals. They were literally cutting their tear glands out of their eyes without anesthesia and without even veterinary supervision. Just a random staff member would just hold the dog down and cut things out of their bodies.
A judge ruled there was probable cause to believe that Ridgeland had committed crimes under Wisconsin's animal cruelty laws. And last October, Ridgeland agreed that in order to avoid criminal prosecution, it would surrender its breeding license by July 1st of this year. However, the company will be allowed to continue its research. Knowing about 2,000 dogs remained at the facility with an uncertain fate, activists led by Shung broke into the facility 2 more times. Shung charged with 4 felonies.
But what do you say to people who believe in your cause, but they disagree with your approach?
If people understood the context and the extraordinary efforts we've made to try and get the authorities to do the right thing, they would understand where we had no other choice.
Then in April, the announcement that most of the dogs would be released.
Today is about doing what is right for the beagles.
The beagles move by buses and planes across the country. This one named Bo, finding his forever home outside New York City.
And Ridgeland telling us in a statement, no court, agency, or investigator has ever made a finding of animal cruelty at our veterinary health research facility. And in response to claims by former employees, Ridgeland says secretly embedding activists in health research facilities is a common animal rights strategy, and frequently the claims do not hold up under scrutiny. Again, Ridgeland's breeding operation is supposed to shut down in just a matter of weeks, but it's still unclear how many dogs remain at the facility, and those rescue organizations say they are not giving up. And it just raises the broader question about animal testing in this country. It is legal, but people have questions about how it's carried out. And so we're going to stay on top of this. We know that there are still a number of dogs at this facility and others that people are trying to find forever homes.
Yeah, really important story. Okay, Whit, thank you.
Okay, so we are on the pulse of the busy travel season as travelers map out their plans to jet set and hit the road this summer. And this morning we have some tips to help navigate your next trip or your holiday getaway. So joining us now is Going.com travel expert Katie Nastro. It is good to see you, my friend.
Welcome back. Great to see you all. Thanks so much for having me again.
Absolutely. And this time, and you're ready for the 4th of July, by the way. You got the blue, you got the red, you got the white.
You did see that little blue in there.
I saw it.
I saw it. Touch of blue.
It is a big 4th of July, just weeks away. America 250 happening. Yes. Are you seeing any deals? Is there something that people can do?
Yeah, we are definitely still seeing deals. We are seeing, it's sort of a tale of 2 fairs this year. You know, we have domestic fairs. They're up roughly 17%. Yikes. But then you have international fares. Those are down. They've deflated slightly, roughly 3.8%, which is great. So if you haven't booked anything yet and you're thinking maybe this is the year to take a trip abroad, targeting that 3-day weekend might be the key to getting out and about, but affordably.
Okay, well, that's exactly what I was going to ask you, because what exactly are like the best routes to catch the best deals? Yes. But maybe going abroad is it.
Yeah, we definitely are seeing some international fares abroad that are relatively affordable, but you don't necessarily have to go too far abroad. All of the deals that we found at Going for the 4th of July, by the way, are only 2.5 or less in total. So you can get to places like Boston to Chicago for only $187. That's less than $200 round trip. San Francisco to San Diego for $137.
Wow.
Or maybe you want to check out a little American history. Knoxville to Philadelphia, $106. That's on Allegiant, which is another ultra low cost carrier. Without Spirit in the mix, you want to figure out all of your options.
I'm looking at that Bermuda and Cabo.
I know.
Ones.
Yeah, talking about international fares. Again, those are less than $350, and you don't necessarily have to take a long haul flight. I mean, Bermuda is only 2.5 hours away, or less if you catch the right.
Really?
Link. Yes, and it can be very affordable.
Okay, great. So we were talking about destinations abroad and here at home, but what are the places people are searching the most right now?
Yeah, great question. So it's interesting. We have the World Cup sort of in the mix, and people are searching domestically. The #1 spot, get this, Seattle. You know, people are looking at these major cities like Seattle, New York, LA as areas to not just go to the World Cup, but just experience that big city and that vibe. And the Pacific Northwest, for example, is one of those areas that you can sort of catch some July 4th action, but also catch the game and all of the excitement around it. And then internationally, this is actually interesting. We're seeing Canada and Mexico, which the World Cup, we know these are 2 host countries, but those are also a really great accessible and affordable option for your your travels abroad if you're looking to take that international trip. So our neighbors to the north and south are definitely great options if you haven't booked anything.
Yeah, maybe we'll see you in Bermuda.
Yeah.
Yes!
Right, exactly.
I was just there a few weeks ago and I used to live there actually, funnily enough.
Wow.
And it is such an incredible place. And it's less than a 2.5-hour flight from New York. So maybe that pink sand is on the bucket list. Definitely check it out.
Thanks, Katie. We so appreciate you. Coming up here on GMA, a warm welcome for a choir group 40 years after they were almost banned from that very same stage. Stay with us.
Although we know the boss is wrong as
Back here on GMA, out loud and a decades-long social injustice that's finally being corrected with the help from a Grammy Award-winning singer. ABC's Will Gans has the details. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Rachel. Y'all get this. This week, a Gallup poll shows that the percentage of Americans who view gay and lesbian relationships as moral is the lowest it's been in a decade. But one group of queer vocalists is proving that we are stronger when we stand and sing together, and that now is the time to turn the volume up.
This is the sound of resilience.
Performing together openly, unabashedly, joyfully is a resistance against a world that once told us to hide.
The New York City Gay Men's Chorus headlining one of the most prestigious choral events in the country, 40 years after they were banned from performing on this very stage.
The team of administrators tried to prevent them from performing because the word gay appeared in the title of their ensemble.
That's when the 40-year rift with the American Choral Directors Association began.
It felt like a slap in the face.
The group did perform, but weren't recognized by name in the National Choral Journal, and the relationship has been sour ever since. Until now.
So my goal was repair and to invite them back to ACDA.
Amanda not only inviting the group to headline this year's conference, but surprising them with news that Grammy winner Scott Hoying would be joining them and writing an original song for the historic occasion.
And he said yes.
Queer people have existed throughout all of history. So any type of battle to erase queerness is a losing battle because it will never be erased. So the song is called Never Go Away.
We'll never go away. Never go away.
You've performed with Dolly Parton, you've performed with Kelly Clarkson. Where does this moment rank in that long list of accomplishments?
Near the top, if not the top. I feel like I'm about to cry. Like, it feels so specific to me. Like, I was a queer kid who found safety in choir, and now I'm going to be at like the biggest choir conference of the year. It's just like a really full circle moment.
You know what wins every time?
You can try to erase us, and 40 years later, we're still going to be here.
So the thing about choral singing is that you can't do it alone. It takes community, a group of voices coming together to lift one another up. And to me, that's what Pride is all about. It's saying, I know you could do this by yourself, but you don't have to. We're here too.
Yes.
Oh, very
Powerful
special.
message. Yeah. Thank you for that, Will. All right, Mr. Will Gans is back with our play of the day.
I love this story. As any great performer will tell you, the show must go on, and that's exactly what happened during an orchestral concert of the music from La La Land happening in Sydney, Australia, when the professional pianist fell ill halfway through the show. The Oscar-winning composer and conductor from the movie came out on stage and asked if anyone in the audience could sight read piano music. 21-year-old Sterling Nasa, who just finished college classes 3 days prior, studying international relations, raised his hand and volunteered. Within 2 minutes, he was at the keyboard playing with the professional orchestra. Take a look.
I guess it's just with these sorts of things that when you know, opportunities, you really don't know when they're gonna present themselves to you, and you have to just be really willing to take them, grab onto them, and just go for it. Nothing else comes from this. Not that it needs to, but if nothing else comes from this, I got to jam with an Oscar winner on a Saturday night. Not too bad.
Sterling delivering an absolutely golden performance, and as if that's not enough, the music features a few crazy keyboard solos which he improvised in the right key on the fly. Audience went wild. Sterling tells me the experience arrived right on tempo in his life. 3 days after graduation, he's now thinking about pursuing a career as a professional musician.
Come on, Sterling. That was awesome. And what a name, Sterling NASA. Thanks for starting your day with us. Have a good one, everybody.